Is Six Flags Over Texas already teasing out what is next for the park after Tormenta opens? It might sound crazy, but this past week, surveys were sent out to pass holders about what they wanted to see at a few of their parks, and Six Flags Over Texas was on that list. And lucky enough, I was able to get that survey. Even though the park just announced Tormenta, they aren't done expanding the park. Before we talk about this too much, any of these additions most likely won't be coming next year, but I see the park getting something new in about 2 to 3 years just to keep the hype and attendance up after Tormenta opens. Around 1 year ago, the park had sent out surveys to pass holders, and on that list was the 300-plus foot Giga Dive coaster, and look what the park is getting next year, Tormenta the Giga Dive. That doesn't mean what's on the list is going to come true, but we will talk about that later in today's video on what I think the park will be getting next. In the survey, there was 4 different concepts of new additions. The first ride concept is an immersive Western dark ride. The picture with this concept is in the Texas section over by Rodeo. This would be a good addition because it doesn't hurt to have more indoor attractions with the heat in Texas. They do have better options on the survey, but I don't absolutely hate this idea. One reason I don't see them actually doing this is because it's the location of Polynesian Palm, a signature Fright Fest haunted house, and where they do the Gunfighter show. And with them wanting to add more entertainment to the park, it doesn't make sense to remove a show venue. But a counter argument to that is Rodeo is getting old and can be seeing its way out of the park soon, which would help open that area up, making a dark ride fit perfectly in the area. I just would rather prefer a different attraction in the area like a kids coaster. The second concept on this survey is multi-generational rides. In other words, it's basically just a flat rides package for the park. In this flat ride package, it includes a Ferris wheel, a monorail, a tilt-a-whirl, and a Zamperla flat ride. In the description, it says inspired by French architecture, making me believe this is far along in the planning phases. And with the French theming, I believe this will be going in the France area, which currently doesn't have any flat rides or rides in general. And also, in the past couple months, they have been clearing out some of the land, which they could be making room for these rides. This is definitely one of my favorite things on the survey. Plus, within the last couple years, they have been removing a lot of flat rides, and the park is now running low on flat rides, in my opinion. The third concept is a nighttime spectacular. The picture presented is definitely not how it's going to look, although it would be pretty cool. With the park wanting to add more entertainment, it would make sense, and I could see them doing some show for their 65th birthday, but I just don't believe they're going to spend all the money and go all out as they did in this picture for the concept. This was in multiple park surveys as well, meaning they probably want to put it in at one of their parks somewhere, but I just don't see it coming to Over Texas, especially after spending all the money on Tormenta. And the final concept is a family water coaster. This will be located at Hurricane Harbor across the street, and after the success that Splash Island has had, it seems like they want to go big again and add a water coaster. If they do this, it does seem like they want to start a little water park war with NRH2O and Hawaiian Falls. I was predicting this back when Splash Island was getting built, and I do believe it will be replacing Hooks Lagoon, which closed this past year, and it would be a perfect addition for that area in the park. Currently, the park seems lopsided, with most of the stuff being on the right, and they can add this water coaster to replace Hooks Lagoon, and then the park will be more even on both sides. I personally really like this idea coming to the water park, and if they do add this, I will definitely be going to Hurricane Harbor multiple times that year. Out of all 4 of these options, the one I see coming next would be the water coaster. With the success of Splash Island, I see them wanting to keep updating the water park after the past couple of years that it didn't get that much love. The water coaster could bring so many more people to the park based on the fact that it's just a water coaster. But then I feel like right after the flat ride package will be coming. With the park removing Harley Quinn a few years back, El Diablo, and the Conquistador, the park needs to add flat rides. And another thing that helps me think that this is coming next to the park is that the land clearing that has been happening in the France area, and a few flat rides would be perfect for that area. And finally, after opening Tormenta, it doesn't make sense to add another coaster in the next 3 to 4 years to the park after spending all that money. That doesn't mean they won't do it, but I feel like the flat ride package makes a lot more sense, and will also bring back flat rides the park has been missing. I've always been saying that I feel like Six Flags Over Texas will get a Nebula sooner rather than later, and a monorail would be absolutely perfect to go in the entire New France area. But after all this, it was just a survey, and everything on the survey could come or nothing can come. The park sends these out just to see what their guests want, and clearly they work because this is why we got Tormenta. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching, have a great rest of your day, and bye.